All right.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to explain what we're doing?
Um,
No, I'm explaining
okay,
it.
good.
Okay. Me and BoxyToaster here are going to explain our plans for what we would do with America. We're gonna make a new America right now because we can.
We're founding the new nation.
It sounds wrong when you put it that way, but sure. I don't know why. Uh,
Anything can be put it a certain way.
yeah, I suppose. Let's start with an easy one. Arizona. So,
Yeah.
my plans for Arizona, as you already know, we're going to make Arizona, mass produce Arizona green tea. Just a bunch of Arizona green tea coming from Arizona. I mean, everyone loves Arizona green tea, right?
Right. Like even like anyone can have it, even lactose intolerant people.
That's
Like
probably true. I'm not going to fact check that.
you can't be allergic to green tea, can you? It's just like tea.
I'm pretty sure you can. It's like herbs and stuff. Can be allergic to pretty much anything.
Ah, but not green tea.
Sure, let's go with that.
Right.
Uh, what do you want to do with Tennessee?
Tennessee. Right. So, of course, with Tennessee, like the name would imply, we're just gonna have a bunch of tennis tables.
Hmm.
Large tennis tables.
What about tennis courts?
Oh, yeah, that's what they're called. The courts.
Yeah. It'll be like the tennis capital of the world. I like it.
I I can't get my mind off of tennis tables.
The ping
I've
pong
only
table.
ever I've only ever played table tennis. I forgot normal tennis was a thing.
uh, that's funny. All right. Now let's get to some of the wacky stuff now. California.
With,
Cut it
with
off.
California. Right.
California
Upgrade.
Island. Okay. But hear me out. What if we take like a bunch of cities and put them in California, and then like we like remove a bunch of the gambling and like drug laws from California, and then it's just like the gambling and drug island of the U.S. And we just like so that way
I
it's not much of a
feel
problem
like
everywhere else, but it's just a problem in California, you know?
I feel like that'd lower a lot of the rates everywhere else because the druggies and the gambling
Yeah.
addicts would go there. But like,
Yeah. I mean, it'd get a lot worse in California, but yeah, it's an
yeah,
island. Who cares?
yeah. And what do we name it?
Uh, California.
So it's still just California.
Yep, it's just an island now for
And
no
is it
reason.
still 50 states?
Uh, it's not going to be for long. That's actually a good point to bring up. Let's get to probably the only good decisions I'm going to make here. Take
Yeah.
Alaska, sell it to Canada. They're they're pretty much part of Canada anyways. We don't really need it. And Hawaii, we kind of just took over Hawaii. Like they don't. We were just kind of like, you're ours now, so we should give it back. You know, I kind of feel bad for just taking Hawaii by force. They can have their independence, you know?
I also don't like tourists very much.
That's fair. And while we're still on the topic of selling things, we're going to sell Texas. It's too big. We don't need it. Why is it that big? It's too large. I mean, sure, we
I'm
could
gonna
like
quote you.
divide it up into smaller states, but it is too big.
Well, who do we sell it to though?
Mexico.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Do you think they'd want to buy Texas back though?
probably not, but we're going to make them buy it.
And then what do we do with the people in Texas?
I don't know, they can move somewhere else.
I
It's
I'm
their
not.
problem, you know?
I
Who cares?
That's true. They did choose to live in Texas.
Yeah, they did. Now, what do you want to do with Utah? That's something I haven't decided on anything with Utah. You have any ideas?
I mean, Utah is one of those states that like nobody really lives in Utah.
Yeah.
It's
I've never heard
like
anyone say, I'm from Utah. It just doesn't
I think
happen.
just NPCs are in Utah.
Oh,
They're like
so like you're saying we should have it be like the side quest hub of the United States. Like everyone just
right,
goes to Utah to get a side quest.
right, like everyone's losing their
Okay.
dog or their blue raspberries in Utah.
I I like the idea. It's just some guy who's like, hey, go kill this goblin for me, but like there's no actual goblin. It's just
It's just like the neighbor's dog.
no, no. The side quest is just kill the neighbor's dog. Oh, that's
No,
awful.
it's
Yeah, the goblin, the dog's name is Goblin.
oh no.
Okay, let's move on to a different state now. Let's go with Oregon. And just set a
Or
bunch of hospitals that specialize in like organ transplants and like playing the organ instrument in like the background.
that's what the nurses do.
Yeah, yeah. It's like they'll sometimes send in like entertaining people into the patient's room to try to cheer them up. They'll just send in
Because
like an orchestra with just a huge organ.
I feel like that would cause so many heart attacks.
Well, luckily it's a hospital that specializes in organ transplant, so you just give them a new heart.
Do we have enough hearts for that?
I mean, with the side quests in Utah, I mean, there's probably some quests that
That's
reward you with a heart.
true. I'm gonna take the goblin's heart.
Yeah. And Washington, since we're like right there, we either put Washington, D.C. in Washington, because why is Washington, D.C. not in Washington? Or we
Well,
rename Washington.
and what would we rename it?
I mean, as you suggested earlier before we were recording, not Washington. I really like that name. It's a good name.
Yeah, it's not Washington, of course.
Yeah. And Kentucky. Everyone knows Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC. We turned the entire state of Kentucky into one big KFC. And it's got like KFC houses inside that big KFC. It's like the infinite IKEA, except it's not infinite. It's the size of Kentucky, and it's not IKEA, it's KFC. And like the houses have like the KFC consoles in them, and like it's got the KFC dating sim on it, and like the
What
KFC
the heck is?
movie.
I've never heard of that.
You've never
The
heard of the KFC dating sim?
is this something I need to get on? Is it like Better Tinder?
Oh, it is amazing. Okay, so like dating simulator games.
Yeah.
KFC made one about like KFC. It's
Do I get
amazing.
to do I get to date a bucket of fried chicken?
I think so, but I think you also get to date the Colonel, Mr. Colonel Sanders himself, the KFC man. You get to date him.
Real talk. Would you date Colonel Sanders?
I mean,
He, he's like
they
120, but
they did a pretty good job in the dating sim. Like he's an anime Colonel Sanders.
what's his like anime powers? What can he do?
He makes really good chicken. It's pretty insane.
Chicken
We're
is
off task though. This is my
we are
plan
off.
for Kentucky. Do you like the plan for Kentucky?
I do like the plan, but when you mentioned the little houses, it kind of scared me. Like I got flashbacks to the Oompa Loompa scene from Willy Wonka
Oh,
and the Chocolate Factory.
I see.
That scene scarred me as a child.
Well, I think we should get on to something that should make a lot of people happy. If the KFC one didn't already make a lot of people happy. You know, the North and South, states, all that stuff. It's too confusing. We should take North and South Dakota, just Dakota now. North and South Carolina, just Carolina. West Virginia and Virginia, that's just Virginia now. Like we don't need that extra confusion. Just merge them together, you know?
Okay, but you know how back in the day, uh Vermont like became its own like state, like it was like New York, and it was also what's that other state?
New
It was like
Hampshire.
right, it was the two states. Would New York and New Hampshire just like share half of Vermont?
Uh, what? I mean, I think Vermont and New Hampshire are too small anyways. We can just like add them to Maine or New York. You
I
know?
think
All right.
New York is enough as is. It's just kind of like a
Actually,
smaller tech.
this is better. Let's take Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. Just merge them together. Just a bigger state. Boom. It doesn't matter what we name it, but we leave Rhode Island on its own. Even though it's super tiny, and I hate how tiny it is. I want Rhode Island to just. Is it even an island?
It's not.
Okay. First of all, we take Rhode Island and make it an island. Second of all, we like rename it to like Road Island, ROAD, and then we put a bunch of roads on it.
Well, typically most states already have a lot of roads.
Yeah, but
So
we
when
put
you say
like
like
even more. Like everything is road themed.
is it just like a big NASCAR track?
Uh, sure. It's just like a road looping around the island.
And do we have like restaurants there or just roads?
It's like you know, there's like isn't like Sonic like a race car themed restaurant like that, and like the gas station restaurants. We just get a bunch of like car and road and race car themed restaurants there. That's it.
Okay, but real talk, right? What do
Hmm.
we do with Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania. I
It's
don't know. Where? Oh, there's Pennsylvania. I'm dumb. Uh, Only thing I can think is like have them manufacture more pens.
not pencils.
Well, I mean it's Pennsylvania, not Pennsylvania.
I don't know. I've always read it as Pennsylvania,
Oh, pens
not
and pencils. Why
Pennsylvania.
not? I mean, it's like they make school supplies, kind of. I guess. Boom.
Yeah, okay.
Now let's also just merge Delaware into Maryland. Delaware is too small. I don't like it. It upsets me.
Um, you know what? I can get behind that idea,
Hmm.
but this isn't necessarily about the states, but it's more about the country. Can we what do we do about minimum wages in these states?
We increase them, you know. We're already doing enough to the world as it is, or the United States. We should at least, have them be paid well.
True.
Yeah. New Jersey also too small. Add it to Pennsylvania.
Is it too small?
Yes.
It's average.
Nope, too small. All right. Now I think it's time to get to the big ones, the real important ones here. I've been holding back a little bit, but I think this is really important. Florida
Wild. Florida.
and Australia. Australia is just the Florida of the world. So I think we take Australia.
I I thought Florida was the Australia of America.
No, Australia is the Florida of the world. We take Australia and connect it to Florida. Whether we cut off Florida and like connect it to Australia and just make that an island, which isn't
Aren't
the preferable option, but we can do that. or we just take Australia and just like put it in the Gulf of Mexico. Like even if it's just like a corner of it's turned into the Gulf of Mexico, we need to connect Florida and Australia somehow. That is really important.
I I wouldn't say that's going to be too particularly good for the climate.
Doesn't matter. Florida and Australia need to touch. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, I I can agree, but what if we just built a massive bridge?
No, they're not touching. It's just a big bridge. That's dumb. Why would we ever do that? We need them to
Because
touch.
it's a big bridge that touches them together.
Rhode Island's the only one that needs like road bridges. Come on, think.
Okay, okay, okay.
All right, my other big one, Ohio. We all know this. No, we don't. A lot of you have been lied to by the government. Ohio's not real, okay? It's just not. And the government keeps pretending that Ohio is real. So I
And
think we should
do you want
drop
to know?
that fake veil and just show to the public that Ohio, it's not real. It's like the void in Minecraft. It's like the transparent background on PNGs. It just doesn't exist. It's an illusion, a hologram. When you drive into Ohio, or what you think is Ohio, it just teleports you back to one of the surrounding states. Like, oh, I'm going to Ohio. No, you're in Indiana, Michigan, Kentucky, West Virginia, or Pennsylvania. It just teleports you out. Come on.
I actually have a very, very strong case to support the fact it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
So when you think of pretty numbers, right? Is 49 a pretty number?
It's all right.
No. It but it's nowhere near as good as 50. 50 feels powerful. So
True. You're speaking
the
just
government was like,
truth.
we have to add one more.
Yeah.
And so they created a hologram because there wasn't enough space to put another state.
Yeah, it was kind of like a big void there, and they're like, we can't fill this void up. So they just put a hologram there. Everyone who says they're from Ohio, they're a paid actor, not real. I know someone from Ohio, they confirmed this. They said, yeah, I'm a paid actor. Ohio's not real, which is all the proof you really need.
Exactly. Because you can
Yeah,
trust a guy on the internet who says his friend said
yeah.
something.
All right, let's go down to like a few of the cities, because I'm feeling
Oh,
working
so
with
we're
cities
going
right
down to
now.
the city level.
Only on some states. Like I just Googled it, and apparently Seattle is in Washington. I did not know this, but
You
Seattle, it's known for
yes.
having a lot of furries. We give the furries Seattle. It's the furry city now.
But
I mean,
I
they
thought
kind of already
I
own it.
thought we were getting rid of Washington.
Well, no, we're leaving the state of Washington. We're just renamed
Right.
to not Washington, or
Oh,
adding Washington D.C. to Washington. And I really like the idea of adding Washington D.C. to Washington. Actually, I like them both. The state is now named not Washington, and Washington D.C. is in not Washington.
I feel like that's going to confuse a lot of people.
Who cares?
True.
It'll be easier to remember actually, because Washington is in not Washington. They're really similar names. Like, why is Washington in like Maryland and Virginia? I think it's like on the border of the states, right?
It
No,
actually
yeah,
separated.
yeah, it's technically not. It's
It
like its own
separated
area.
from Virginia and Maryland 200 years ago.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Still stupid. Add it to Washington.
It's actually the capital of America.
Shh. Okay. Uh, New York City,
I think New York City is pretty perfect as well.
the Big Apple. We turn it into a Big Apple.
What
It's
do you
like
mean
just
we
a
turn it into big?
massive apple, and we like hollow out tunnels in the apple, and then like hollow out little rooms for the houses and like the buildings, and it's just a big apple as the city instead. Just a massive apple, right?
Made of apple material or like
It's just a huge apple, like just an actual apple.
how are we gonna grow an apple that large?
I don't know. Mm.
And do the people live in this apple or is it just an
Well, yeah,
apple?
of course. We like dig tunnels. It's like it's still like a big city, but it's just a massive apple. I mean, like, sure, if we can't like get it to work where we can grow an apple that big, I guess we could just construct an apple. It's stupid though. Genetically
We
engineer
could,
it, just big apple.
right, we can have a big apple.
Yeah, why not?
And then we do have to talk about some of the lesser known states, of course. Give them their recognition.
Yeah, I suppose we do. Mm, I guess.
So
Which one
so
do you
what
want to talk about?
I think it's only fair to talk about Idaho.
Idaho. Mm.
You're
Why are there
looking
so
for it as
many like irrelevant states that start with I? There's Idaho, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana.
hey. You can't say Illinois is irrelevant. There's a lot of good stuff that goes on in Illinois.
Like?
Mass gun violence.
I will give you that. All right. We'll just put a bunch of like target practices and gun stores in Illinois. Why not? Sure. Well, let's do it.
And then right.
What?
And then right. You know what we do?
What?
I think I think we have to make like one of the states like we have to just take like a chunk of land and just
Hmm.
elevate it like 120 feet in the air. Like the
Oh
whole state.
yeah, like just a giant plateau. I think Colorado is
Right.
perfect for that because it's square. Also, Wyoming is. We need to decide. Okay, I think we take Wyoming, elevate it to like a massive Wyoming plateau, but then we like rename Wyoming to Wyvern and then add like a bunch of wyverns and dragons and massive towers on top of the plateau. And then it's just
How can
like
we
a
confirm that
massive it's just like a massive RPG. And like it's perfect because it's right next to Utah, which is where you get your side quests.
right? That's how you level up for the boss fight.
Yeah, so like Utah is where you go to get your side quests, and then you go like climb the Wyoming plateau, and then that's where like that big boss fight is. And it's kind of like an open world thing. So like you get to choose which boss fight you want to participate in, and there's like some chests there you can open up to gear up and stuff.
The chests are just like people's homes, and you just go in and fucking loot them.
Well, isn't that what you do in a lot of games? Like Minecraft, you just break into the villagers' houses and steal their stuff. Fortnite, those
That
are people's houses with chests in them. Like
that is actually true. So I think it's only morally okay that you do it.
of course. Plus, like we like now own America in this like in this
Yeah.
hypothetical scenario, so it doesn't matter. We get to decide what's right and wrong.
Do we announce to the people that these changes are happening, or do we just do them?
Of course, like we wouldn't want to just like cut off California and leave people who don't want to be on the California island on the island. And like we gotta tell the people of Texas that we're selling Texas before they just become part of Mexico. It's only the right thing to do. And like with Alabama, for example, first of all, I want to just like nuke Alabama, just like nuclear wasteland. And then we like fence it off. So like it's like an SCP containment zone. And then we like put all the doomsday preppers and rednecks in Alabama and because they're perfectly suited to like live in the post-apocalyptic setting and nuclear fallout of the state of Alabama. Like, do we really need Alabama? What does it really do? You know?
Oh, I can't say that I know of anything good that's come from Alabama, nor any famous
Exactly.
people.
Yeah. All right,
Do
Mississippi.
you know a
The
single
name is too long. We need to like shorten the name to Mississippi.
Miss
Mississippi is now Mississippi. Boom.
Mississippi or
Easy.
Mississippi?
Just Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get like a spell check on that?
Missippi. Or maybe
You just took
it's
one letter out.
what? No, I took out
You
four.
only. What do you mean you took out four?
Mississippi. Mississippi.
How did you?
Mississippi. The way the way we're shortening it is Missippi. We're taking out SISS. There's four letters right there. It's a big shortening.
That's five. Is it?
No.
Hold on. I think I'm having some difficulties here.
Okay, okay, hang on. Let me type this out for you. And then to shorten it, C.
I actually. Oh yeah, no, I'm seeing what you're doing here.
Yeah.
I don't think that like I like that idea,
Mhm.
but something we haven't touched upon is what we do with Nevada or Nevada.
Nevada. Nevada. I don't know.
Nevada, if you're weird.
It's really pointy.
Y- Uh,
Why is the
I
state
guess.
so pointy? Uh, I don't really have any plans for it. I mean, like, isn't that like we're that's the Area 51 state, right?
Yeah, it has Area 51 and
Yeah.
it has what's that one place called? The really big gambling place.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that. Uh, Las Vegas, Nevada? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All right. So first of all, we take that city, add it to the California island. Easy, right? And then like we open up Area 51 and just let like all the aliens roam loose, but like we have to like wall off Nevada. So like the aliens don't escape, but like they're still in Nevada. And it's like Nevada just becomes like the DLC for the Utah and Wyoming, which is now Wyvern area. It's like Nevada is like the alien DLC for that adventure. You gotta
Wouldn't
like
it make
pay to get in.
I so who do you pay though? Do you like is there a person outside the gate? Do you have to go to Washington?
Yeah. No, you don't go to Washington. There's like one massive, like big boss looking door, and there's like a guy standing out front, and you gotta like
Just
pay
like
him to get in.
just like a normal guy or
He's like a bouncer almost, but like for the entire state of Nevada or Nevada.
the entire state? Damn.
Yeah, because like there's like one entrance. You like get in
Oh,
through like it's somewhere in between like Nevada and Utah. It's like a big door there. Like it's a big door. It's like if
a
you're gonna try
big
to get
door.
in, you know where it is. So you like you do Utah for the side quests, Wyvern for like the big boss fight and all like the main combat stuff. And once you get bored, you go to like the Alien DLC in Nevada. You know,
So is Florida just like a survival game mode?
well like uh, as we said, Florida and Australia they have connected. They're like together. There's gonna be some wacky stuff that comes from that. So I'm actually glad you mentioned that. We should probably add some protections, like the wacky stuff doesn't spread. Like Alabama already a post-apocalyptic wasteland of like nuclear fallout. It doesn't need Floridians or Australians, so we gotta like wall off that area. And Georgia doesn't need that. I mean, personally, I don't have any changes I want to make to Georgia. Like they got like two things. They have there's a lot of people filming there for movies, and movies are okay, so we should leave that. And like I've been to a few conventions there. Those conventions are fun. I don't want to mess with that. So we leave Georgia alone. It's okay. And the one big Carolina now, I don't have a problem with Carolina. We can leave Carolina.
I agree with the big Carolina thing.
Hmm.
I would say though, Georgia, like I think we should make it slightly bigger.
Yeah, but like where, like what would it cut into?
Hold on, I gotta look at the
Because
map.
like Alabama, wasteland. We're leaving the Carolinas alone. Florida, we cannot take over anything there. Like we can't make more room for other states in Florida. Whatever
That's
is Florida can't be moved. And I, Tennessee is just it's too much tennis already. We can't touch that.
right. We can't interrupt the tennis lovers.
Yeah, no, of course not. Like I wouldn't dream of it.
All right, then I suppose we move on to the next state.
Yeah, Louisiana. What do you think about it?
Louisiana. I honestly, I've never heard. Hold on, I'm gonna Google Louisiana and just see what's happened there recently.
I don't know anything about it. It's dumb. It's just kind of there. It's almost too small, but not really. Uh, the name's kind of stupid. Makes me think of lasagna for some reason. So I mean, maybe we put like some lasagna factories in there, like
Um,
spawn Garfield in that state.
I don't know if we can spawn Garfield.
Listen, we're moving Australia to Florida. We made a big apple for New York. We cut off California into an island. We nuked Alabama. We turned the entire state of Kentucky into one big KFC. I think we can spawn Garfield.
That might be true actually. Um,
You got any other of the remaining states that we haven't touched that you'd
well,
like to add
I'm
stuff
learning that
to?
Louisiana has a population as of 2021 of 4.6 million. It has an unemployment rate of 3.4%,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
there
it
it,
costs.
it really sounds like they could use Garfield in there.
Yeah, Garfield is gonna keep all the Italian places in employment.
Yeah,
Garfield's
eh,
doing work for the country.
so true. Uh, Minnesota. I think we changed the name to Minnesota, and they like sell tiny sodas.
What qualifies as a small soda or a mini
Okay,
soda?
so like, like the regular sized soda cans,
Mhm.
and then like the ones that you sometimes like find normally like someone else bought them for you or like brought them somewhere, and they're like slightly skinnier and slightly shorter, and you're like, who made these cans? Who buys cans this small? Like they're not like really tiny, but they're like a lot smaller than the regular one, like noticeably smaller. And then you're just so confused. Like why? You know
I
those
think I know
ones?
about. Yeah, I
Yeah,
yeah,
those.
like when people buy for like birthday parties.
Yeah, 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 those. Mostly those.
And what if like they're really thirsty though? They got to buy a lot of mini sodas.
I mean, there's other drinks that could just import the Arizona green tea from Arizona. Just, I'm not saying
That
they
would
can
all
only drink
that,
mini sodas. That'd be stupid.
of course.
Yeah. I'm running out of opinions on these remaining states. I feel like we've covered a lot of the major ones. Yeah.
Okay. That much is true.
I'm feeling pretty proud of our work so far. I mean, I think we leave New Mexico. Actually, no, we should change it because I'm upset with the fact that it's named New Mexico when it's not part of Mexico. I mean, I I,
It's New
I
Mexico.
don't mind New Mexico. Like it's an alright state, so I don't want to sell it to Mexico right
Well, it
now.
was originally part of Mexico.
Also, like New Mexico is like Walter White, Breaking Bad, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we can't get rid of that. You know?
But Walta he, he makes meth, and that's bad for your health. Can we really support
That is
that?
true. Well, I mean, we're not gonna support that, but we're not gonna support it. But we can't just get rid of New Mexico. Because, like, while it is bad for your health, you gotta respect it at the same time.
You got to respect the hustle.
Yeah. I mean, it's Walter White. Come on. So let's just change New Mexico to new. It's just new. This is the name of the state. New.
Don't do heroin.
Actually, yeah, that is a better name for the state. The name of the state is Don't Do Heroin. And that way, when the kids are studying the states and the names of the states, they know I shouldn't do heroin.
Right. See, because the meth does come from there, but not heroin.
Yeah, you're right. What about Oklahoma?
Um, I think we should have free ukulele lessons there.
Hmm. I like the idea. Ukulele lessons, and let's put some okra there as well. Like okra for Oklahoma.
I've never actually heard of that. I don't know what that is.
Okra, the the vegetable.
I thought it was banned.
Okra?
Yeah, no, I had no clue what it was.
Fair enough, I suppose. Yeah, there's like some states we haven't covered, but those states they're just boring. Like there's nothing to do with the rest of the ones that we haven't covered. Like maybe we could just change Colorado to avocado and just avocados there. And like maybe we could take Nikocado avocado from Florida and put him in the avocado state.
Why do you know he lives in Florida?
I don't know. It's been mentioned, right? Hang on. I gotta Google this to make sure I'm not insane.
I feel like you're just an avid viewer of Nikocado Avocado.
Okay. Nikocado avocado, Florida. Uh, yes.
He
Yep.
does live in Florida?
It is confirmed he lives in Florida. So, like, should we leave Nikocado avocado in like the Florida Australia hybrid? Because like Australia
Do you
now,
think he'd
like,
survive?
I mean, I think he'd like end up taking over like one of the counties or something.
I think he'd scare whatever's in
So
Florida
like,
slash.
because now that Australia is part of like Florida, like Australia just becomes a bigger Florida. So Florida's really big now. I mean, sure, I complained about Texas being too big earlier, but that's because it was Texas, and as SpongeBob says, Texas is stupid. But
Well,
Florida's
actually,
beautiful. So I'm fine with Florida, Australia being that big. So we have two options. Take Nikocado Avocado, have them rule Colorado, which is now avocado, or we just let them rampage in Florida. I, I kind of like the idea of like the rampaging in Florida.
I don't know if it's fair to assume that he would conquer Florida, though.
Oh no, he wouldn't conquer Florida, but I'm sure he would take over like one of the counties.
He could actually do that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no way he would take over all of it. It would be like a big battle royale going on there at all times. He'd make it at least decently far in, I'd say.
What do we do with like YouTubers and Twitch streamers and stuff like that, and like businessmen?
I mean, they can like stay in their own states. Like, I mean, of course, when we're making these changes, we tell people ahead of time. So, like, let's say, for example, Moist Critical doesn't want to be involved in that big battle royale happening in Florida. He can move out. He can move somewhere else. Because we got to leave a few states relatively untouched, just like there's some non-chaotic place for people to go.
Yeah,
So I think like they'll have more than enough time to move somewhere. And I think we'll see a lot of content creation coming from Utah and Wyoming and maybe Nevada with the like Alien DLC. Like Dark
I feel
Souls
like
YouTubers or like
that
Skyrim
could be a lot
YouTubers. Like it'll
of
be
click.
IRL.
Like the Nevada DLC is gonna cause a lot of clickbait.
Yeah. I mean, is it really clickbait if like there's just actual aliens there?
True.
It's not really clickbait at that point. I'm I'm pretty satisfied with our work.
I would say so. Yeah,
I I think it's pretty good. But I also think that there's definitely some stuff that can be improved on. So we should probably come back at a later point and revise our plans.
definitely. Of course, when we take over the states,
Yeah.
then we'll come back and revise.